Hi, hello. You should watch Disclosure Day, not just because it's a good movie, but also because of the message that it shares. And I don't usually ever say that.
Delicious hot schmoes.
It took me way too long to go and see this movie. But I finally got to it, and I can finally tell you all about Disclosure Day. Have you guys ever seen the movie Arrival? You know, the space alien, well, not really even alien, the alien, not space, alien. The alien movie where they're trying to find a way to communicate with an alien, and the crux of the movie is we can communicate with the aliens. Oh, hold up. No, this is not sponsorship because obviously we have like 3 subscribers. This is me just saying I am live streaming on Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays almost every single week. If you want to tune in, start 8 p.m. Mountain Central Time. All right. Thanks for watching. Hit the subscribe button. This movie, although not really similar to Arrival really at all, had a lot of the same vibes of Arrival because Disclosure Day is a really interesting movie about attempting to tell the world about the existence of aliens. So you got your main characters who are trying to release a bunch of information to the world. And then you have your antagonists who are trying to stop that release of information because the world is already unstable and they believe that if we give all this information out, the world will collapse. Valid worry. But like that's our conflict is somebody's trying to like give truth to the world and somebody is trying to hold that truth back because they think it will collapse the entire world and whatever is going on. But the vibe of this entire movie is like, oh, there's this thing that we've always known that's going to happen or come about, and it just happens to be these 2 main characters, but none of that is really ever explained above that surface level. They never go into a deep dive as to why they know these people exist, why they know that they were going to help do what they do, or why they're important, really, other than accomplishing this goal of telling the world about aliens. And, aliens exist in this world. They give a bunch of information about the US, blah, 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 blah. None of that really matters. Because ultimately, the story of this movie is incredibly well crafted, but more than just the story, the message of the story, I think is the most important part. Because there's like 2 messages that kind of get put into this movie. One of those messages you see way easier, like it's kind of more in your face, but I believe it's the lesser of the 2 messages. And that is that truth is incredibly powerful. I think that is the way that the story tells that message is really, really well done. But the second message that this story really kind of tells, but seems to be very subtle, is to listen. And when I say that, I mean to listen to people around you, to have empathy for those around you, regardless of who they are or where they've come from. Because that's what tears us apart, is when we as human beings don't have empathy for each other. That's the message that it tries to tell. And that message is super powerful and kind of subtly drawn throughout the entire movie. And I liked it a lot. This movie was very good. Disclosure Day was a good movie. So if you've been thinking about watching it, it is on the tail end of its run in theaters. So if you want to see it in theaters, you better go get seats quickly. But I'm sure it will be on streaming pretty soon if it's not already there. And so I would say watching this movie is worth it. It's a fun sci-fi movie feels very Steven Spielberg. And, you know, there's always the chance he's getting old. This might be the last movie he ever makes. Who knows? Probably not. Hopefully he's as old as Francis Ford Coppola was when he made Megalopolis, but hopefully he'll make a better movie than Megalopolis, but this could be Steven Spielberg's last movie. And I think it's a really good film. You should watch Disclosure Day, not just because it's a good movie, but also because of the message that it shares. And I don't usually ever say that. I'm not really a big on like the messages of movies. Most of the time, I either ignore them or I see them, I hear them, and then I just kind of don't really talk about them. Because most of the time, that can be extremely divisive in the movie world. But with this movie, I liked the message that it gave. I thought it was really good. I think it's a great movie, and I think you will also like the movie. Go see Disclosure Day before the end of its run. Yes, this movie is better than Tombstone, just like every other movie that I've ever seen. Because Tombstone is the worst movie in the whole world. I've never seen it, and I never will. Peace.
Delicious hot schmoes.